Animation in the Edit and Cut pages of DaVinci Resolve using the inspector is fairly straightforward. But when it comes to adjusting the position of keyframes, applying easing, and making other refinements, using the inspector becomes more of a hindrance. Enter the Keyframe and Curve Editor, available in both the Edit and Cut pages. With it, moving keyframes around, adding easing, and making other adjustments and refinements is easy. Although it may sound intimidating, the Keyframe and Curve Editor is pretty simple to use. To open it, click on Keyframes in the toolbar in either the Edit or Cut pages. It's resizable. On the left is a list of all parameters on the current clip that can be keyframed. These are the same parameters listed in the inspector. To the right of the parameter list are keyframe tracks or lanes where keyframes appear. Each parameter has its own lane or track. At the top is a timeline ruler, which can be set to seconds or frames using the three-dot option menu in the upper right. On top of that is the toolbar. The button on the far left can be toggled to show or hide the parameter list. The next one opens the Curve Editor. And the one beside that opens the Keyframe Editor. The Curve and Keyframe Editors have their own toolbars. Clicking the Full Extent Zoom button zooms the editor all the way out so you can see all the keyframes on the clip. The Detail Zoom button zooms in on the playhead position. The zoom slider is used to customize the zoom level. The Undock or Expand button breaks the editor out into its own window. This option is not available in the Cut page, but in all other respects, the Keyframe and Curve Editor in the Cut page is identical. When broken out into its own window, both the Curve and Keyframe Editors are visible. The window is fully resizable. Moving the playhead also moves the playhead in the timeline, and vice versa. Let's focus on the Keyframe Editor first. The parameters in the parameter list are grouped into categories. The top category is the clip itself. Each category has a disclosure arrow which can be clicked to show or hide the parameters in that category. The three-button option menu can be used to expand or collapse all categories. There are several keyframe track controls. The first hides or reveals the track's curve in the Curve Editor. You'll see how that works later. Next to that is the lock toggle. Turning it on locks the keyframes on that track and prevents them from being changed. The track is named after the parameter it represents. The color dot corresponds to the color of its curve in the Curve Editor. We'll touch on this again later. The arrows on either side of the keyframe symbol move the playhead to the next and previous keyframes on the lane or track. When the playhead is directly over a keyframe, the symbol's orange. Clicking the Reset button removes all keyframes on the track. Clicking Reset on a top-level category track removes all keyframes from all parameters in that category. There's usually a lot of parameters that can be keyframed on a clip, so it's helpful to list only the ones with keyframes. To do that, click on the Option menu and select Display Parameters with Keyframes. The Keyframe Editor displays all keyframes for the clip currently under the playhead. If one or more clips are selected, only the keyframes for those clips are displayed, regardless of playhead position. If clips are stacked on top of each other, only the keyframes for the topmost track are displayed, unless multiple clips are selected. By default, keyframes for video and audio tracks are shown. Through the Option menu, you can control which types of keyframes to display. Keyframes for effects are also displayed in the Keyframe and Curve Editors. The Keyframe Editor is great for adding, removing, and changing the position of keyframes. To add a keyframe at the playhead position, click the keyframe symbol for the parameter track. Clicking the keyframe symbol on the top-level category track will keyframe all parameters in its category at the playhead position. If the symbol is orange, it will remove all keyframes at the playhead position in its category. To move a keyframe, drag it with the mouse. To move all keyframes in a category, drag the keyframe on the top-level category track. By default, keyframes will snap to the playhead position. To disable that, select Enable Snapping from the option menu in the top right to toggle it off. To move more than one keyframe at a time, hold down Command or Control in Windows and select the keyframes to move, or draw a selection rectangle around them. Keyframes can be cut, copied, and pasted using the standard edit commands. Select the keyframes, cut or copy them, position the playhead where you want them to be, and paste them. To delete a keyframe, click on it to select it and press Delete. You can also delete a keyframe by positioning the playhead over it and clicking the parameter's keyframe symbol to turn it gray. The square bracket keys can be used to move the playhead between keyframe positions. To delete multiple keyframes, select them first. Deleting a keyframe on a top-level category track will delete all keyframes directly under it in that category. Now let's go over an example to demonstrate how using the Keyframe Editor makes animation easier. Here's a clip with zoom and pan sequences created by keyframing the zoom XY and position XY parameters in the inspector. There's an initial zoom in on one actor, followed by a pan to the other actor. Then it zooms all the way out, zooms in again, and then a final zoom out. The first zoom out is redundant. It would be better to just zoom out to this position here. It's fairly simple to make this change with the Keyframe Editor. The first zoom out begins on these keyframes and ends on these ones. Then starting here, it zooms into where we want to end up instead. All we need to do is delete these two sets of keyframes. Once they're deleted, it'll start zooming out here and end here. Holding down Command, Control in Windows, I'll select the keyframes on the top-level category track and press Delete. Now it zooms out to where we want, but it's taking too long. To shorten the zoom out, we just need to move some keyframes. It ends here, so we can grab these keyframes and move them to the left. I'll position the playhead where I want the zoom out to end, and then move the keyframes. The snapping feature makes it easy to move the keyframes precisely where we want them. Easy peasy. Now let's have a look at the Curve Editor. To display the Curve Editor, click the Keyframe Curves button on the toolbar. With the Curve Editor, we can add and delete keyframes, move them around, apply easing, and change parameter values. The curves are color-coded to match the colored dots in the parameter list. The yellow curve represents the parameter position X. The purple one represents position Y. Clicking the curve symbol in the parameter list toggles the visibility of that parameter's curve. Clicking the curve symbol for a top-level category item toggles the visibility of all curves in that category. To display the curve of only one parameter, hold down Shift and click on its curve symbol in the parameter list. I'll solo the Zoom X curve. Notice how the zoom level only changes where the curve isn't flat or horizontal. That's because a flat or horizontal curve represents no change in value. Diagonal and vertical curves represent changing values, and thus animation. This will be true of every parameter, no matter what it is. To bring back all the curves, Shift-click again on the curve symbol of the soloed parameter. You've no doubt noticed that the curves are not curved but angular. That's because no easing has been applied to the animation. We'll do that now. Let's have the first zoom in gradually slow down at the end. In other words, let's have it ease out. First, we have to select the keyframes to apply the easing to. The first zoom in is happening here. I'll click the Detail Zoom button to zoom in. The Curve Editor can be panned with a trackpad or mouse wheel, or you can use hand mode. To use hand mode, click the hand symbol in the toolbar. Click the pointer symbol to return to pointer mode. The zoom in ends on these keyframes, so they're the ones we need to select to have the zoom ease out. The easiest way to select them is to draw a selection rectangle. There are several toolbar buttons for adding easing. The first one is linear, which is the default no easing. Then there's ease in and out, and ease out. There are two others that are grayed out, step in and step out. We'll cover those in a second. Keyframes can also be right-clicked to access the easing buttons. Clicking ease out doesn't do anything, but ease in gives us what we're after. Not very intuitive. Handles have appeared on the selected keyframes. Use them to fine-tune the easing. Holding down Shift while adjusting them constrains their movement. This button enables flat handle mode. It's enabled by default. When easing is applied in this mode, the handles will be flat. If turned off, the handles will not be flat. Applying easing in this mode can produce strange results. If that happens, try enabling flat handle mode. When adjusting handles, remember this. The flatter the curve, the slower the animation, and the steeper the curve, the quicker. The zoom in looks better. Step in and step out convert a gradual change between keyframes into an instantaneous one. Let's do that with the pan to the other actor. To use step in or out, the keyframes at the beginning and end of the pan, or whatever the animation is, must be selected, which are these keyframes here. I'll click the Step Out button. Let's see how that looks. It's happening a bit too soon. We'll move the keyframes to delay it. The shape box is good for moving keyframes in the Curve Editor. These are the keyframes where the cut happens. To use the shape box, first click its button in the toolbar, then draw a rectangle around the keyframes. Dragging either side of the shape box moves the keyframes enclosed within it. It's easy to review your changes to get it just right. In addition, the top, bottom, and corners of the shape box can be dragged to change the values of the keyframe parameters within it. When done with the shape box, click on the pointer symbol in the toolbar to return to pointer mode. For the final two zoom outs, let's add in and out easing. I'll zoom out the editor by clicking the full extent zoom button in the toolbar. There's the first zoom out and the last one. I'll select all those keyframes and click the Ease In and Out button on the toolbar. Looking better. I've added a Text Plus title to demonstrate some other features of the Curve Editor. Note that all curves for effects are white and are not color-coded. The title starts off small with the letters bunched together and grows in size as the letters become more spaced out. Animations can be reversed with the Curve Editor. I'll press Command-A, Control-A in Windows to select all the keyframes. From the Option menu, I'll select Reverse Keyframes. An animation can also be looped. With the keyframe selected, click on the Option menu and under Loop Type, make a selection. Let's try Relative first. It gets smaller with each repetition. Loop repeats the sequence. Ping pong continues the sequence in a more natural way. Selecting No Loop removes looping. I'll set it back to ping pong. Adjustments can be made to the animation and the loop will update automatically. I'll click Detail Zoom and isolate the size curve by shift-clicking its curve symbol in the parameter list. With both keyframes selected, we can alter the size of the letters while still retaining the original proportions by moving either of the selected keyframes up or down. By deselecting the keyframes, the maximum and minimum sizes can be adjusted independently of each other. Handles are there if you want to adjust easing. Keyframes can be added by holding down the Option key, Alt key in Windows, and clicking on the curve of the parameter you wish to keyframe. You can also click on the Add Keyframes button in the toolbar, and then click on a curve. When done adding keyframes, remember to return to pointer mode by clicking on the pointer button. To delete one or more keyframes, select them and press Delete. To close the Keyframe Editor, click on Keyframes in the toolbar. In addition to the Keyframe Editor, there's the Keyframe Tray, present in both the Edit and Cut pages. Click the keyframe symbol in the upper left of the timeline in either page. Other than the fact that it can't be broken out into its own window and has a fixed zoom level, it's identical to the Keyframe Editor. Its height is adjustable. To close it, click the keyframe symbol again. The Keyframe and Curve Editor is a great, easy-to-use tool for refining and editing animations created in the Edit and Cut pages. Using it will make animating in these pages so much easier. Thank you for watching.